Hey everyone, today we're going to explore the updates that are being applied to the protocols and the ProQA software. And while several changes are taking place, I think that you're going to agree that each one either improves the line of questioning or enhances the logic of protocol, making for a more streamlined and overall better experience. And indeed, most of what we're looking at today concerns the medical protocols, though if the instructions we discuss can be found in other disciplines, you can expect to see the new and improved version there as well. I know your time is valuable, so let's dive right in. Let's start with a big one. A new rule can be found in case entry under Chief Complaint Selection Rules, specifically Rule 27. The complaint of a fall caused by fainting, near fainting, or dizziness, we want to go to Protocol 17. You undoubtedly recognize that you used to handle these on Protocol 31, but that is no longer the case. This is going to allow us to screen for injuries first, and if no injuries are found, the protocol will eventually shunt to 31, but the intent here is driven by understanding that it was possible using Protocol 31 to arrive at an alpha level response even when a reported head injury may have occurred for the patient who fell even after fainting. Using Protocol 17 for these instances will allow us to address a possible head injury. If discovered, the lowest level of response is at the Bravo level due to that being a dangerous body area. All this while still being able to address an unconscious patient through DLS links with a built-in breathing verification. Notice that while you're using ProQA, that if the patient is unconscious, a 17 Delta 3 will be assigned, allowing for quick recognition and access to PAIs from 17, and it's not going to shunt you to 31. There isn't really any data supporting a benefit in shunting at that point in the protocol. All right, next we have a couple of answers to look at in response to the question, how far did he fall? Notice here that separation is now present, allowing us to select either fall down, not on stairs, or fall on, not downstairs. And this was done to help reduce confusion while still addressing some specific situations. Also note that the question, when did this happen, has been changed to when did he fall? And this was once again done to help reduce some confusion with the callers and improve the overall protocol flow. Here's a change that I think is going to be looked at positively. In Protocol 17, if you select not dangerous or dangerous, the following key question is going to be an operator question that asks you to choose the exact body part. This is going to hopefully reduce that often unintentional mistake of not selecting a marked asterisk body part. And note that this change will apply to all the protocols that ask us to choose a body part, like Protocol 30 or Protocol 21, for instance. A few new questions on Protocol 17 are, how long has he been on the floor or ground? And if jurisdictionally approved, approximately how much does he weigh? The first question intends to allow an appropriate suffix, as you'll see, to be attached based on the answer, which can then alter the agency's response if necessary. Now let's look at the overdose protocol and the changes that were made here. Right off the bat, you're going to notice a new answer to the question, was this accidental or intentional? The new answer is accidental with recreational intent. And this is going to allow you to select a more specific answer to this question and help define whether the substance was taken with the intent of suicide or the like, or just for recreational purposes. One of my favorite additions includes a button battery determinant on Protocol 23. You're going to see here that a new rule, Rule 7 on Protocol 23, states that if the complaint description is disc or button battery ingestion, we want to go to Protocol 23. Also, you're going to notice a new axiom, Axiom 7 on Protocol 23, that gives us information to explain a new PDI that you're going to see in a moment and the potential harm this type of ingestion can cause. When you arrive at Protocol 23, question 6, you'll select button battery from the answer menu, which will then, at the very least, become a 23 Charlie 7, which typically will encourage a more rapid response than the one often occurring in the same situation using Protocol 26, which just usually ends up being an object swallowed or an omega level response. So here is the new PDI that asks if honey is available, and if they have no known allergy to honey, we want to give them 1 tablespoon every 10 minutes to a maximum of 6 doses or until help arrives. Some of you might be thinking, wait, what about the infants? And yes, honey is not typically given to infants due to a small risk for botulism. However, while considering this, we know that the button battery ingestion is posing a clear and present danger at the moment, and steps should be taken to mitigate that risk, meaning that even in cases involving infants, we will instruct honey to be given when appropriate. Lastly, to bring it full circle, you're going to notice that Protocol 26, specifically the omega 21, lists not button battery in its qualifiers. Let's shift over to changes made when handling pregnancy-related issues. Looking at Protocol 21, a new response to question 3 is available. No, had baby greater than or equal to 24 hours less than or equal to 2 months ago. The reason for separation here is that postpartum hemorrhage greater than 24 hours is considered a secondary hemorrhage and is known to be more dangerous when identified. Note here that if selecting the primary hemorrhage option, it is still possible to be shunted to Protocol 24 for easier access to Protocol F instructions when appropriate, though secondary hemorrhage will remain remain here on Protocol 21. Still, we will ask about a C-section in the following question on Protocol 21, and if suitable, we will provide access to the PAI for fundal massage. We're now looking at some instructions that have been omitted and or changed. Regarding cord care, we no longer have instructions for how to cut or tie off the cord. Responders will handle this when they arrive. You'll notice that in the following few panels, F8, F10, and F13, that there's now an emphasis on keeping the baby warm. Instructions, make the room warm as possible, close the windows, turn on the heater, have been added and should lead to overall better patient care. How about this one? And people have been doing this for a while already, but now there's an official instruction. We want to ask the caller to put the phone on speaker, which I think most of us would agree is typically beneficial in situations where the PAIs are indicated. You're also going to notice that the definition of serious hemorrhage now includes won't stop, and that a new rule that tells us to control bleeding is now indicated when the bleeding is not controlled and not just limited to the spurting or pouring. As a reminder, in almost all cases, direct pressure will control the bleeding, and it's typically a matter of just not pressing hard enough or sometimes in the right place. In panel X5, you're going to see a new blue for you information telling you to pause and confirm, and a new clarifier, uncontrolled, added to the operant question in panel X5 Bravo, and a new DLS link. Lastly, with Protocol 21, there is a change specifically regarding how we control bleeding from a dialysis fistula. First, notice that there's been a change to Rule 4. We've removed the instructions to control this bleeding with aggressive direct pressure, and instead we now have instructions with a specific DLS link for these types of cases. Here are the instructions. We're going to ask that they find a plastic bottle cap from a pill bottle or a coin or something similar, though not a serrated metal bottle cap. Once they have it, we're going to ask that they place it right over the bleeding site, hollow side down, and push straight down on it firmly with their fingers or thumb and don't let up. This creates an effect known as a tamponade by trapping the blood inside the cap and assists us with bleeding control. And if done correctly, it has a high chance of success in controlling a fistula bleed. There are a few things we want to discuss with Protocol 3, and the word superficial is now capitalized in key questions, and this acknowledges that there's an associated definition for it. Protocol 3 now has an available answer, snake injury or active constriction, as this aligns more with an animal attack than a snake bite, which would be better handled on Protocol 2. But if we're dealing with active constriction, we're going to be in the attack realm, and so Protocol 3 is where we're going to want to handle that. You'll notice that's been changed. And as you all know, Protocol 25 is constantly being worked on, and there are once again have been some changes to it. If it's known that a person has jumped with the intent of suicide from case injury, we want to choose Protocol 25 from there. However, if we discover this type of situation while working on Protocol 17, the protocol now shunts us to 25 if key question 3 in Protocol 17 is answered as jumped suicide attempt. Protocol 25 also received some updates regarding the crisis team criteria. Essentially what this does is encourages its use and overall application when warranted. Also note that in Protocol 25, Axiom 7 has changed to reflect the evolution and appropriate handling of mental health patients. This following change will hopefully clear some noted confusion regarding the use of Protocol 25 for anxiety. Anxiety listed in mental health conditions now comes with a qualifier that it's being reported as a disorder and not an attack, and we will still select the chief complaint based on the patient's symptoms in cases of an anxiety attack. Moving forward to the breathing problems protocol, specifically key question 6, which now asks about a nebulizer as well. Note that the answers reflect whether either the inhaler or nebulizer is readily available. Based on the selected answers, protocol may now direct a person to retrieve the inhaler or nebulizer and tell you when they have it. We also have a new tool, the Elevated Breathing Rate Analyzer. If the patient is discovered to have an elevated fast breathing rate, this tool could have a measurable benefit as it can indicate possible critical illnesses. Though this tool is accessible, it is not currently required at any time, only for use on adults, and we don't want to delay or hinder the provision of indicated PAIs to use the Elevated Breathing Rate Analyzer. One last thing to cover here is the removal of the requirement that the patient be unconscious to use the breathing verification diagnostic. This tool can be beneficial even in cases where the patient is conscious, and this change also facilitates better overall patient care when and where appropriate. We want to quickly mention a word addition to stroke symptoms. Mobility has been added to sudden loss of balance and coordination to better reflect patient and caller descriptions, and this change is also reinforced in Protocol 26 in the alpha level descriptors. Lastly, when it comes to disconnecting with callers who may not fit the textbook description of alert or are in a position that is approved to disconnect due to the patient being with someone, there is a new DLS link that allows us to move forward with a routine disconnect due to the patient being stable and monitored. It's a welcome addition for a lot of you, I know. As always, don't hesitate to contact us via email at 911training@eptc911.org or by phone at 719-785-1900. You can also visit our YouTube channel and subscribe at El Paso Teller 911 QA Department, where we upload CDEs regularly covering all 3 disciplines and informational videos like this one. Or you can visit our website, elpasoteller911.org, where we upload CDEs as well to help reinforce the strength and provide educational opportunities. Thank you all again for watching, and as always, we at the El Paso Teller 911 Authority appreciate you and the work you do.